Hi everyone, this is STEM Choir, and today we will be learning how to find parallel and perpendicular lines of a given line. So parallel lines are lines that would never touch on a graph, and by never I mean never. They wouldn't even cross, they would not intersect. And sometimes we represent the parallel lines by two arrows running like that, just to show that they would never touch, ever. Now perpendicular lines are lines that would touch, but when they touch or when they cross, they make four 90-degree angles. And you can see the 90-degree angles by the rectangles I'm creating to signify it. So perpendicular lines are lines that cross, but when they cross, they make 90-degree angles. And now intersecting lines are just going to be lines that intersect in any way they want, not in any particular order or anything. So now let's say we wanted to find a parallel or perpendicular line of a given line. So the first thing we need to know is that a line that is parallel to another line will have the same slope. So for example, if we have y equals 2x plus 3, now as you can see, this is in slope-intercept form. So the slope of this line is 2. Now, if we had another line that was y equals 2x plus 5, these lines would be parallel to each other. These would be parallel. And this is because they have the same slope. Now, lines that have the same slope, no matter their y-intercept, it doesn't matter about their y-intercept or anything, but if they have the same slope, they're parallel to each other. And as we can see here, the y-intercept doesn't matter, and they will be parallel to each other. Now, for perpendicular lines, the slope of one line would have to be the opposite reciprocal of the other line. So, for example, if we had the line y is equal to 2/3 x minus 2. Now, we have to worry about the slope here. So, to get the slope, if we want the opposite reciprocal of it, what we would do is we would put, because this slope is, the first slope is positive, this slope would have to be negative. And then we would have to find the reciprocal, and the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2 x and plus 5. So again, the y-intercept doesn't matter, and these lines would be perpendicular because, again, the slopes of both of them have opposite signs, positive and negative, and are reciprocals of each other. And as a side note, the reciprocal of a number is the multiplicative inverse of the number, which means that it's the number you get when you want the product of both of the numbers to be 1. So we always want to convert our equations to slope-intercept form to be able to solve for parallel and perpendicular lines quickly. Now, I'm just going to clear this, and let's try something trickier. Say we want to find the line that is parallel to y is equal to 3x plus 5, but goes through the specific point 2, 3. So we can't just worry about the slope here. Yeah, the slope will be 3 because we want it to be parallel. But we have to worry about the y-intercept, and it can't just be some random y-intercept because it has to go through the point 2, 3. Now in this situation, what we would do to solve this equation is we would have to plug in the point that we have 2, 3 to get the b or y-intercept value and get the equation. So now, first what we're going to do is, obviously, one thing we know to get a parallel line to this line that we have here, and that would go through this point, is that anything parallel to a line would have the same slope as the previous line. So, the new line would also have a slope of 3. Now, all we need is the b value, or the y-intercept. So, we're just going to put that as b, so a variable, just as a placeholder. Now what we're going to do is we're going to substitute both of these, plug in this point into the equation to get our b value. So we have 3 for our y value and 3 times 2 as our x value. So we would plug in 2 for x plus b, and we want both of the sides of the equation to be equal to each other, so we want all the numbers on one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 is equal to 3 times 2 is 6 plus b. And now we're just going to subtract 6 on both sides so that we can isolate the variable. So b is equal to negative 3. So what would that give for our equation? So our equation would again have the same slope, but our b value would be negative 3. So that would be our answer to the question, what is the parallel line of y is equal to 3x plus 5 that also goes through the point 2, 3. Thank you.